Fire Emblem Engage is set to drop on Nintendo Switch in just a handful of weeks, but fortunately we were given access early to the game over the holidays, and after sinking a real chunk of time into the main campaign already, we reckon there's plenty of reason to be extremely excited about its impending arrival. Fire Emblem Engage introduces a colorful new continent in the form of Elios, alongside an expansive new cast of characters who can join up with a host of legends from across the series' history. The story here sees you assume the role of the Divine Dragon, a red and simultaneously blue-haired warrior who's been awakened from a 1,000-year slumber in order to go toe-to-toe with the Fell Dragon, which is an ancient beast who's unfortunately got his mind already set on world domination. So in order to stand any chance of defeating this newly resurrected enemy, you're going to have to venture across the entirety of the game's gorgeous world in search of magical emblem rings, which contain the power of legendary heroes from the past. Only the Divine Dragon, Alir, has the ability to call forth the Emblem Warriors from their rings, and they're going to need every last one of them by their side in order to prevail. As far as gameplay goes, if you've played previous entries in this series, you'll pretty much know what to expect for the most part, with lots of satisfyingly deep battles based around the franchise's flexible weapon triangle system, alongside an epic story that gives you plenty of downtime to explore, make new friends, develop relationships, and gather your strength in the brand new Somniel Hub area. Think Garreg Mach Monastery from Fire Emblem Three Houses, but bigger and brighter. In fact, just think bigger with regards to everything here, really. We haven't been given the go-ahead to discuss things beyond Chapter 8, but this is looking set to be the most all-encompassing Fire Emblem adventure to date. Now, we won't spoil the story here, but with our early impressions, we can say we've been pleasantly surprised by how quickly Engage kicks into gear. Within just the first couple of hours, the narrative thrust has been established. Alir's mission to save the world is clear, there's already been plenty of heartfelt drama, and the game is busy sending you into exciting early skirmishes designed to ensure you've learned the core skills you'll need to succeed in the really big battles that will follow a little down the road. And boy, oh boy, is there plenty to learn here. The turn-based combat is as tight as ever, and the addition of the new Emblem Rings mechanic really elevates things, giving you lots of choice in how you go about parrying up your party members with Emblem Legends, who imbue them with a horde of new skills and explosive special attacks. In terms of strategy, Fire Emblem Engage takes all the best parts from its predecessor's deep combat systems, then layers on this new Emblem Ring aspect that allows you to build unique bonds across your entire team. You can mix and match emblem powers with the combat abilities of all the regular warriors at your disposal by simply equipping an emblem ring, leading to a wonderful flexibility in how you choose to set up your squad for different battle scenarios. This freedom to swap out character pairings at your leisure before battle gives you a ton of moves to cleverly consider and utilize during encounters, with class-based skills, special emblem skills, and flashy Engage abilities that you can unleash once you've filled up an Engage meter as you battle. You've also got Engage attacks, which are a real visual treat. These can be used once every time you engage with your currently equipped emblem, and these attacks can instantly change the course of battles and pull you out of some really tricky spots. Our favorites so far being Emblem Celica's Warp Ragnarok, which allows you to teleport across the battlefield in one movement to deliver a devastating magic blast that one-shots most enemies at this point. You'll quickly find favorite fighters and emblems to pair up strategically. For example, pairing up Marth with the main character is a great way to utilize and complement both of these characters' flashy sword fighting styles, while Vander is a mounted powerhouse whose skill set fuses perfectly with Emblem Sigurd. His powers give Vander a super boosted range of movement on the battlefield, as well as the ability to perform a ferocious gallop attack straight through multiple foes in a straight line. But of course, we're still early on in regards to the possibilities here. With lots more characters, rings, and powers to unlock, the potential already is almost dizzying. Luckily though, with all of this and so much more going on around you in heated battles, the game does a top-notch job of presenting all the vital information you need on screen in a clean and precise way. You can always see all of your current attacking options with regards to the character emblem pairing you're controlling. If you move your cursor over any friend or foe, you'll get detailed info on attack radiuses, movement options, and important skills for every combatant on the field. And if you need to dig even deeper, you can pause the game to jump into menus that are stuff-crusted with even more info. Setting up your units and equipping them in an optimal manner is wonderfully streamlined too, with an auto-organization option available in the pre-battle phase, which sorts all your currently available gear to the most suited fighters, and can even switch who is wearing which emblem ring in order to give you the best matchup possible. But that's probably recommended only if you want to skip a lot of the downtime and get straight into the battles. For a game with as much depth as this, Intelligent Systems really has done a great job in making it all very accessible, easy to read, and fun to dig into and learn as you go. There's tons more to the battles here, even in the early stages. Combat arenas feature destructible scenery, allowing you to create your own flanking routes to sweep around and divide the attentions of enemy forces. You can send archer-class units into huge ballistas in order to one-shot multiple foes and thin out the encroaching threat. And there's plenty of treasure to be picked up, barricades to protect, and citizens to rescue as you go. And if you take on paralog side missions that pop up here and there, you may encounter new characters to approach and speak to during fights, adding new combatants to your available roster, and there are even replayable skirmishes to dig into in order to rank up and earn extra rewards. And of course, the series' signature permadeath makes a return when you play in classic mode. There's a casual option available though for those who can't take the heartache of watching beloved friends die on the battlefield. And there's also the returning time rewind mechanic that softens the permadeath blow somewhat, allowing you to jump back all the moves taken in a battle and restart from any point. Now we can't go without mentioning how superb the battles look in Fire Emblem Engage either. There's an immaculate crispness to the colorful graphical style on display. Fights are packed full of cutscenes and flashy animations for special attacks, and the whole thing runs without a hitch so far in both docked and handheld modes. The presentation in general feels overhauled in plenty of places in comparison to past Fire Emblem entries. We've been treated to elaborate cutscenes nearly every chapter. Occasional conversations will be accompanied by a still piece of art depicting a scene. Character portraits in battle now move in full 3D, and at times they remind us of a versus screen you'd see in a fighting game. On top of all of this, each battle map has been fully rendered and designed in 3D. So wherever you place your character on the field, whether it be next to a fence or in a field of flowers, the battle scenes will take place in that very spot. It's little details like these that illustrate just how far the team has come from their work on Three Houses. Now, some of the background scenery can look a bit empty and compressed at times during moments of dialogue, but there's so much detail packed into the characters that we rarely felt it pull away our attention. But what of this downtime in between battles that we mentioned earlier? What about all those important relationships and the epic story that drives the whole thing forward? Well, we've been thoroughly impressed by how fast-paced this new Fire Emblem adventure has been so far. It really gets you set up and into the action quickly. The Divine Dragon and their companions are a cracking bunch of characters so far too. And in the floating hub area of the Somniel, you've got a ton of ways in which to interact and build those all-important bonds that feed cleverly back into battles, unlocking new skills and strengthening the combat connections between your ever-expanding roster of fighting friends. We're still early on in the story, but there's so much you can spend time with in this area. You've got bonding and support conversations between characters, QTE strength building mini-games, loads of pets to adopt and take care of, which can net you rewards, an area to train in, meals to cook and share with pals, endless achievements to tick off, treasures to collect, and a nice Parisian-style cafe to chill out in. There's an armory, a smithy, a general store, a clothing boutique for picking up those all-important new threads, and even a records hall which you can organize fun photo shoots with all of your new buddies. Be prepared to waste a staggering amount of time messing around with all of this stuff. Oh, and we didn't even mention our new fluffy companion Sami. We're still not sure of their exact purpose, but we've had a lot of fun taking care of them, dressing them up and watching them follow us around on the island. Just listen to those little feet flutter as they grace the ground. But it's also back in the Somniel that you'll be able to craft bond rings, lesser powered rings that can be equipped to all characters in order to raise their stats, as well as cashing in piles of collected materials in order to strengthen weapons and augment the special engage weapons that you'll use once your engage bar is full in battle. There is, in short, a lot to take in, even at a rather early stage in proceedings. And as the battles ramp up, as the stakes are raised even higher and our party continues to grow, we reckon the balance Fire Emblem Engage is already striking between top-notch tactical action, engrossing storytelling, and engaging world relationship building has the makings of an adventure we're not going to be able to put down anytime soon. With a wonderfully slick new art style that looks super crisp and colorful, great performance across the board so far, a huge roster of returning heroes to rediscover from across the entire history of Fire Emblem, and an epic story full of brand new characters we've already grown pretty fond of, we're feeling positive about Fire Emblem Engage so far. You could almost say we're pretty engaged. So for now, we're going to get back to leveling up our party and collecting those emblem rings. And before you know it, we'll have our full review ready for you. So be sure to let us know in the comments down below and at nintendolife.com what you think about Fire Emblem Engage so far from what you've seen. Are there any aspects that are more appealing than others? What has you intrigued? What made you get all the way to the end of this video? Let us know. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you engage with that subscribe button and just go ahead and put a ring on it, because that's what all the cool kids are doing these days. And then ring that notification bell to be notified when our Fire Emblem Engage review goes up. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to PJ for spending a chunk of time with Fire Emblem Engage so far. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.